this first thing here, which is kind of what I call my 4S principle, right? So you got setup, systems, sales, and scale. So if you're kind of looking at that in a business sense, and we'll break that down into steps. Step one is obviously the setup of your business, right? So what I mean by that is we're talking about legal infrastructure, right? So are you registered as a partnership? Are you registered as a company? Are you registered under a trust, a discretionary trust, a unit trust, just as a sole trader, right? So the legal structure of your business will determine your level of scale long term, right? You know, even for example, right now where I'm at Clean Health, our top co is held through a legal structure that doesn't allow investment, right? And so at the moment, there are multiple parties that are looking at kind of investing into Clean Health. As for now, it's still myself and my wife as the sole shareholders, but we're having to restructure the legal framework around Clean Health as a business to, you know, allow capital investment in, because when I set the business up, it was set up from a risk mitigation strategy. Now for you guys, like when I started Clean Health, I actually started it as a company, right? So even though I was running it through Fitness First at the time, which was a commercial gym, I started it as under an LLC for you guys in North America, or a PTY Ltd for those in Australia, or a PTE in the UK or the UAE, and wherever you guys are. I did that for a few reasons. One, when you set your business up as a company, it only costs a few $100s to do. The first thing you do is you create a legal barrier between you and the consumer, right? So comment in the chat right now, who is running their business as just a sole trader, who is running their business as a partnership, and who is running their business as a company. Okay, so we've got some LLC, solo, LLC, company. Yep, cool. So a lot of you guys solo, but we'll corporate this year. Okay, great. Private. So reason why I generally recommend for most of you guys to set up as an LLC is purely just for two reasons, or three really, but one is to get that legal separation between the consumer and you, right? So that, for example, if your client falls down on the treadmill under your guidance or whatnot, the company is more going to be at risk than you, right? But then obviously the other aspect is the tax aspect. Commercially speaking, a company is going to allow you better tax deduction strategies. So obviously being able to claim on more things. Now that varies depending on where in the world you are. Like for example, for a lot of you guys in North America, your rules there in regards to tax deductions, tax and stuff like that are different than in Australia. You guys have state tax and federal tax, depending on where you're at. If you're in Delaware or Florida, you've got 0% state tax. If you're in California, you're a fucking idiot. Oh, oops, I didn't mean to say that. You're paying more tax than you should. If you're like, Kalai there, you're in Singapore, aren't you, Kalai? Yeah. Singapore is very advantageous from a tax standpoint too. So, no tax in Wyoming. And again, step one is the setup, so the legal structure of your business. Now, in Australia's fucked. Like we've gone way too far to the left these days. I should say there's no kind of balance or equilibrium there. But in saying that, like North America, you guys actually have a lot of the best, none in Turks or Caicos either. You guys, have a lot more benefits there than in a lot of other parts of the world. Let's just put it that way. So step one is setup. Now step two, systems, which I kind of want to get into today, is once you've set up the legal infrastructure of your business, we need to then deep dive into the systems aspect, right? So what type of IP systems are we giving our clients? What type of customer relationship systems? What type of administration systems, financial systems, etc. Because once you've built out that, you obviously then need to go to step three, which is sales. Because at the end of the day, a business will live and die based on sales. Like, it doesn't matter how good you are as a trainer, right? If you can't attract new customers and then convert them, your business will either A, not make the impact on this world that it could, right? Because you're not going to get the reach out there to customers around the world. But then two, you're not going to be able to put food on your table, right? So the sales aspect is important. And I think once you've done the setup, the systems, and the sales correctly, then you can start to scale. And I even just gave you the example there, being super transparent with you about Clean Health and what I'm doing at the moment. Clean Health is obviously, you know, it's what I'd classify as a medium-sized business, right? So we're not as big as the NASMs and the ISSAs, but at the end of the day, those businesses are private equity or financial group owned, right? So they have multiple investors. Their founder is long since gone, having started decades ago. So for us to kind of start really competing with those bigger organizations on a global scale, I need to get investment, right? So again, my legal structure is changing to, you know, change the way that we operate so that we can scale further. So it doesn't really matter what stage of your business journey that you're in, these principles apply.